the AK Option Trader back at you for our weekly video. Let's get going. Got a lot to talk about. Well, we had a great week last week. Did a lot of trades. Well, you know what? I didn't do a lot of trades. I did, I don't know, half a dozen trades. But most of them were pretty productive. Ended up buying, if you read the blog, you could see that on Wednesday night, I wanted to buy some calls. Figuring we'd have a bit of a bounce on Wednesday night. And I just couldn't find an entry point. And of course, we had that big day up Thursday. President comes out, recession's over. Woo! Of course, if you read the blog, you know what I feel about that. Not. We got a long ways to go, people. Do not believe it. Do not believe it. Do not believe it. This country really is in trouble financially right now. There's a lot you can read out there. I'm not going to get into it now. I'll post stuff on the blog every now and again. But be cautious. And then Thursday night, I was fortunate enough to go ahead and buy some puts ready to close, and sold them about 20 minutes before the close on Friday. I still have some puts on LXK, and that's kind of where I stand right now. So let's go ahead and look at some charts to see what's going on here. Real big, huge thing happened on the VIX here. Remember this resistance line? I almost, very closely, we hit this intraday on Friday. I almost sold my Q puts right then and there because I thought there's no way we're going through this. I was wrong. We blew right through this thing. It was such panic, and the only reason I think we did was because it was a Friday. I think that was a huge reason we blew through here, because it was a Friday. It was coming to the weekend. A lot of selling goes on a Friday. Blew through. One thing I'm watching, pardon me, I've got the stock SRI down here, full SRI, it's called on Thinkorswim here, and you'll notice you got a high right here. You had a lower high here, which is usually pretty bearish, and we're almost up to that there. So we're going to keep an eye on this. I would expect we're going to probably pull back a little bit here. I don't think we'll continue through on Monday. I mean, I guess it's definitely possible, depending what comes out on the news Monday. I don't think there's anything huge on the calendar. There's construction spending on Monday, I think, and then the ISM index, impending home sales. So it definitely could move it, but depending on what comes out Monday, and if those numbers end up being better than expected or being manipulated being better than expected, not that would ever happen, it could definitely affect it. But I wouldn't be surprised to see us pull back a little bit here before making another run up. Got the 200 moving average looming over us right there. So okay, the Dow, and I'm going to go ahead and leave the full SRI up here for all the charts today. I use this a lot intraday, and I also use the MACD, but it just clutters up the charts too much, and I can't give you guys a good picture. That's why I don't usually have them on here. The Dow has been the most bullish, I think, of all the indices I watch. If you read the blog last week, I kept saying I thought it would come all the way back down here after this day up here, hitting up into this near trend line. I thought, well, maybe we're going to pull up early. My target, I don't remember what the target number was exactly. I forgot to put a line on it. I think it was right in here, 9,600 is kind of where I thought we would go. We still haven't even got there yet. We had a huge down day, and we did not get there. So I'll be watching for that. This 9,600 area, breaking, or see if this trend line holds and see if we can break through it. We got a lot of room down on the full SRI. We could go down in here, okay? It's definitely not bottomed out. It's definitely not topped out. So just keep an eye on that. On the other hand, if we want to look at the SPX, S&P 500, we broke through that same trend line. I've also got the Bollinger Bands on here, and I use this a lot. I probably should have taken them off because it clutters the charts too. But intraday, I use a lot different charts than what I show you guys. I'm just showing you setups. So I try to keep them clean, and I apologize. They're very messy charts today. A lot was going on. Anyway, here's the uptrend line. You can see it held 2 days, and we broke it strong. Busted right through it. Now we're on the bottom Bollinger Band, which usually offers, like here, offers some support. Anytime you get on that bottom Bollinger Band, tends to offer a little bit of support. Sometimes, though, what you look for is a slide where it comes up here and slides down and opens up. So just watch for that. If we see these Bollinger Bands start to turn down, we've definitely got room to head down before we get down below 20% on there. So there's definitely room to move. Again, you got a nice support right here with 1,020, 1,020.25. So I'll be looking for a bounce there. We could bounce off this Bollinger Band too. Okay, let's go to the Nasdaq. Pop that bad boy open. Zoom in here, help this be a lot cleaner. This is what I played. I thought this was the weakest of all the three. On Friday, it actually was not the weakest of all the three. It was only down 2.5% on Friday, so I actually should have been in spiders. I kind of missed the boat there. But anyway, I did well. I'm not complaining. I did real well. It just, the better play would have been to be playing the spiders instead of the Qs. So I just picked the wrong index, but I still did really well, so I'm not complaining about it. Obviously broke through this trend line 3 days ago. Rallied back up into resistance right here. And then we fell back down, and now we're on a new trend line. We can draw one here. Not very strong. I wouldn't put any too much into it. But this 2038, I think is going to offer some support. It based out right here, and then right here. You could easily see a head and shoulders pattern be made here if we come back up to this 2150 area and start to turn back around. We're bottoming out more in this than the other one, which is why I kind of played that, thinking it would fall a little bit farther. So keep an eye on that. Broke through the bottom Bollinger Band usually causes a bounce. But if we pop back up, I would expect us somewhere this 2125, 2150 to turn back around and go down again and maybe make, like I said, a head and shoulders pattern. All right, then we go into the RU2, which has been the bearish of all of them, Russell 3000. We already broke through this support here. I mean, we plowed through it, came back above it, dropped right back down. We did bounce a little off this fib here, this 29 or the 28.6 fib 558. Bounced right off of that. Pretty good technical bounce. I don't think it's going to offer that strong a support. It still looks the most bearish. It's still way down, most sold off. But I like it. I think it could break this easy. I think we're to find support at 547 if we do, though. Okay? So the 547 line would go ahead and offer us a little bit of support. Let's go and look at the Qs. I blogged about this quite a bit last week and put up some Twitter charts on it. Zoomed in quite a bit more than I wanted to here. Qs looks pretty bearish. Look at the huge volume. You got the huge volume on Friday, even comparatively over here. Real nice volume spike. All the big days have been down days. I've been saying that consistently. Broke through lots of support. Broke through the 50 moving average. Real bearish. Obviously when you're selling that hard, you're probably going to have some type of buying, a little bit of bounce. So keep watching for that. We still got room to head down on the stock RSI. So we could keep falling really easy. The spiders more so. We got a lot more room to fall here on the spiders. Real nice volume pop. Something I've noticed here is that the volume has been increasing down to my trend line. My divergence is starting to break, which is consistent with the end of the uptrend on here. All right, we broke through all these support lines that I had. The next one is this one, and I don't expect it to be super strong. We do have a fib line right here at the 100, so that could definitely offer a little bit of support. I don't know how much. But I would imagine the 102 level will offer definite support if we do break down to there. It looks like this has a little bit more room to fall than the other ones. So those are most of the indices. I'm going to go over some other sector ones, some ETFs, three bears. This one's IYM, iShares, Dow Jones Basic Sectors type thing. So this thing is hitting a little bit of support on this uptrend line. It's heading down, crossing over here, and the stock RSI has been crossing down for a bit. Found a little support in bottom Bollinger Band and this trend line. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. If this breaks down, this thing could really fall significantly. But it looks like it might hold here. So that's what I'd be watching for. It also helps you see what's going on with the market too. ERX, same type of thing. Almost this is the 3 times share bull for the energy. And it is doing the same thing. It hit this, hit a fib line, real huge volume, which is common with selling. It looks like it could bounce up off here. So watch this. If this breaks, obviously we're going to be looking probably down to 35 level. Okay, so you could play down here. Here's the one I really wanted to show you is TZA. Okay, TZA. What I really wanted to show you on here is this is the 3 times small cap bear, 3 times shares. Okay, so it's a bearish thing. It's a counter move to the Dow. Look at these volumes peak here. Look at this volume here. It's just consistently growing into this move. Consistently growing into this move. Okay, people are buying. People are getting more bearish as things go along. Huge move here. Huge move and a breakout to the upside. We have a new trend line to watch here, so keep an eye on that. And as long as that trend line stays intact, this market is obviously going down. UUP, Brad, buddy of mine, keeps posting this on the blog. We got a new uptrend line to watch here. We got lots of support on the UUP. Nice volume, huge volume going in. Lots of call buying, as he pointed out in December. All right, we're going to try to sneak 3 more in here real quick. GNW, kind of like a downtrending megaphone pattern. It's near the top resistance line with a hanging man type thing here. It was actually up on the day on a down day, so it could break through. It's got a lot of room to move up here. Just keep an eye on it. Breaks through, go long. If it doesn't, go short. Pretty easy right there. MXB is another one. I like this for a short play. Moved up, filled this gap, blew up to this top resistance line. It's hanging right here like a hanging man. I'd be watching for this thing to drop. That's MXB. One more, CRE. I like this one to drop. Bearish Engulfing broke through this resistance line, filled this gap 2 times. I think this one's to fall at least to this trend line, probably farther. So there on Monday, I wouldn't be surprised to see some buying after some strong selling like we saw today. Keep an eye on the VIX. I think it's going to retrace back a little bit before it keeps going. This will be the AK Option Trader signing off. Trade one.